Hello my dear friends, today I would like to dedicate this video to Akash network token. If you remember, a year ago I was recommending paying attention to this token, and in this video I was describing the reasons why I think it is fundamentally a good investment, and from the technical analysis point of view I explained why I think this is going to be our accumulation zone, and I recommended to pay attention and consider investing in it somewhere in the zone of 19 cents to 25. And basically what we actually did, and I updated this many times on my Twitter account. If you don't follow it, you can go check it out if you find it interesting and useful. So basically what did we do? Akash Network token was one of the best performers this year for those who bought somewhere here, as I suggested it to do. Basically, it was a good idea to buy there, and it proved to be right. After that, I made an update on my Twitter account that I already bought it when I saw this consolidation. I bought it a little bit later, not at 19-20 cents or 18 even, but at 25 cents here when we exited this accumulation zone. But I mentioned this accumulation zone many times, and at 25 cents I was ready and set to go. And as the price headed to the upside, I drew this trend line, this purple trend line, and it proved to be very useful to me because it showed me every time when I need to sell it, when I need to sell AKT. Although it is my long-term investment, I'm not just a simple investor who is buying low and holds all the time, waits for a few years for it to reach my target. I work with my assets for them to be efficient because I'm a trader, first of all, and I know many liquidity gaps, inefficiencies that I already taught you on my Twitter account and in my videos before. So definitely I use my trading knowledge to resell, to sell, fix my profit, and use that profit that I made from the best entry to rebuy my assets and increase my token quantity of my tokens in my portfolio. So basically I bought here at 25 cents, then I saw this rejection here. This candle was a sign for me, and I marked it with this arrow that shows to the downside. Also at some exchange I saw a weak and an efficiency red week into this zone, so I knew this is going to go into this zone at least. So I sold it here, and the market turned reversed to the downside in general, so I didn't pay attention to AKT until it reached this accumulation zone, and it was the best opportunity for me to re-enter, and I mentioned it in my Twitter account again. So, and after that, after I rebought much more AKT from the time that I bought it for the first time, then AKT started a new rally, and again it reached our intersection of resistances here, this global trend line resistance and this range resistance too. And each time I didn't sell it right here, but I sold it a little bit lower when I saw this candle. That was an insightful candle that we will go at least into this zone of this range support, and I did sell and rebuy 2 times here. And after I rebought here, I was very skeptical about it, even sold it again, but then rebought. In general, all these sells and rebuys made me increased my AKT amount twice. So I made x2 from the moment I invested here. For example, if I invested here hypothetically $10,000 at 25 cents for Akash, when I was here already, I had so much Akash as if I invested $20,000 here. So basically, with $10,000 investment I made when it made here, I finally sold here upon this trend line. I was going to bed and I sold. I thought it is going to reject here. It did reject it, but abruptly. And when I woke up, it has already broken and secured this line as support. And of course, I was missing out the rest of this movement. And yeah, I could guess that it is going to be that strong, because basically breaking this trend line, we entered the new high range with the higher price action velocity and amounts of movements, and the candles are getting bigger. So definitely I missed this, but whoever listened to me and bought AKT in this zone, accumulation zone, they made 8x from the bottom, or maybe even if somebody bought it at 18 cents, and I doubt that somebody sold somewhere here because everybody expected $2.50, $3 or something else. They could make almost 10x on AKT. I sold early at 96 cents, but by the time I sold it here, I already doubled my AKT amount from the moment I bought it here. So definitely I also made 8x's when I sold it here. Almost, yeah, 8x's. As if I didn't do nothing and wouldn't sell here. So definitely I didn't miss much, but of course if I wouldn't sell here and held it until this one, I would make like 14 x's from this purchase here at the bottom. But definitely it is what it is. I am transparent with you guys. I sold it here at 96 cents, and I mentioned it in my tweet on Twitter. So definitely it was a good ride for me. And what is going to happen next? I wasn't sad or about selling here, because I knew that the price is not going to go much higher. And of course, I knew who is behind all this rally. It was Messari Research Company. They shield, and if you follow their tweets, their accounts, and their research materials, or for example, at least I suggest you to subscribe to Messari's newsletter to your email account. They provide some interesting insights. If you know how to read between the lines, you will find it very useful. So definitely, and it was clear that the possibility of breaking this purple trend line was with the help of market makers, and these were the strong market makers and the guys who were the research team of Messari Research. They accumulated they have accumulated AKT even here about $1, and here all this time they were accumulating, and of course they needed a lot of liquidity to unload these holdings that they had from this bottom, and they outperformed very nicely. But it was clear after we broke this purple line, it was clear to me that the price is manipulated and is being held artificially by the Messari's market makers, because they needed to unload huge amounts of profit they made. And it was clear to me that they are distributing, because they started shilling AKT in their tweets every day. and posting some analysis and other stuff. And also there appeared to be the divergence with of AKT movements with Bitcoin's movements, because Bitcoin started dumping and AKT started going to higher. Why this happens? If you watched my earlier videos, educational videos, you know that this marks the presence of the market maker who tries to keep the price within the range. And it was important here for the market makers to hold the price above this level, above this trend line, for them, for the big guys to unload, because if it fell and closed under this purple line, it was over for them and they wouldn't be able to distribute. That is why they sent it. I even tweeted here at 144, 142 that this probably is going to be a reversal point and we are expecting a squeeze. And this squeeze happened, but then of course Bitcoin went lower and the market maker needed to make themselves safe, because they were not done with distributing, so they sent it a little bit higher. This is a common practice when you form distribution range. So I wasn't worried that I sold at 96 cents because I made 8x's, and these money are prepared for to rebuy AKT lower when it comes back down. And is it clear to me that it is going down? Yes. For example, of course, we already tried to break this trend line, but so far we are recovering. If we break this pink line, then there is probability, it will depend on Bitcoin and other stuff, that we will be back in this range and we will continue something like this, and the distribution will continue. And only when we lose it, then we are going lower. But there's another thing. Let's enable our favorite Kijun-sen, and what we can see here, we are close to Kijun-sen, and if the price dives under it, then it is over. It is going to at least to 80 cents, 87 cents, and we have this here, another inefficiency. This one has already been covered, as you can see, and this is the second inefficiency here, and it is going to be covered here as well. And finally, this one also has to be covered, in my opinion, sooner or later. So definitely, if we lose this Kijun and dive under it, then we are going lower straight away. And how low, nobody can tell you right now, because if we look at the bigger picture, we can see, first of all, we have this global trend line, this green one, and definitely this is going to be locally, at least locally, our strong support here. So if we go there, then there can be possibility that we recover into this resistance again and get back then lower. But in my opinion, if you held AKT and you sold it, then definitely you need to be back, and you are a long-term holder, you need to be back when AKT is back at least in the 60-70 cent zone here. This is a traded zone, then that is why in this zone can be the reaction and the bounce from it, and a lot of orders are in this zone. So definitely when the price reaches this zone, consider getting back into it, and in the worst case, in my not in the worst case, but technically we can bounce from it many times, but in my opinion we can go as low as 45-50 cents, 45-60 cents. This is the zone of reaccumulation. If you sold high, then took your profits, then rebuy, and you are willing to hold AKT for a long term, and you believe it is going to go at least to $5, $6, $8 at least, So definitely you need to rebuy it. There is no, at this point there is no possibility to find the best possible bottom here, because if you look at the weekly time frame here, let's remove it, the weekly chart, definitely here's our 48, 43. Kijun is helping us to find the support here. Technically, if we remove the Kijun too, it kind of can look like we are going to draw another double bottom here before we go low. There is no guarantee of that. It can be possible actually, but there is no guarantee of that, and you can miss out. As you can see, we have this uncovered wick here, which has at 45, 46, $47. Definitely, I'm kind of sure that we will come for the retest of 46, $47 sooner or later, and that would be, in my opinion, the best possible entry if you sold high here around 140, 170, 130, somewhere there, and then you will increase your holdings by more than 50%. This great addition to your portfolio of AKT for the long term. If you believe in the technology and developments that the team is doing right there, definitely you should rebuy it in the 47, 45, 50, 60 cents zone. I'm sure that AKT will get back into that zone. If it goes lower, then no big deal. Put your AKT into staking and wait for the next bull run, and you will be safe, in my opinion, because it has got a lot of space to go up. $3-4, then $6 plus, then definitely it is worth the hold, and their partnerships and integrations are going to expand only, in my opinion, and the team is hardworking and is committed to their community. So definitely, if you believe in AKT, rebuy it or buy it for the first time if you missed the previous time, but not early. Do not do that right now. Do not do that earlier than 60 cents, in my opinion, 60, 70 cents. And but most preferably that we will be back into this range zone of this blue here, and this is, in my opinion, the best time would be to buy it on the spot AKT for those who are willing to do so. I hope it was helpful. Good luck to you guys. See ya.